Hey everyone, I'm Alexis, the Eagle Queen. Love me, I know you do. Anyway, today's kind of a cool day. Today we're going to be talking about the Astra Militarum Codex that dropped a couple of days ago. Now I know I'm late to the punch on this one, but I really wanted to look through the book and actually, have a good idea of what I was going against. I did 2 practice games against the new Astra Militarum and with the current meta and everything, and I wanted to get a nice meta game in before I actually, gave my 2 cents on this. So. What I want to talk about today is I'm not going to do a full codex review because everybody's already done that. But what I want to do is I want to talk about, I'm just going to put this right over here, the regimental orders, the orders in general, and the stratagems, and a few units I think people need to look out for. Like some sleeper units that I think are ridiculously good, and some units that are, you're going to face them in the tournament scene. It's going to be fun. So I wanted to go over the orders first. Now, they didn't really change that much. There are regimental orders now, which are kind of huge. They affect each different regiment of Imperial Guard. And then there's the general orders. Now, there's a lot of things that are, the general orders are pretty good, but we're going to save those for another day. Because, oh wait, no, they're right here. Okay, the Astra Militarum orders. Oh, and I forgot to invite Ghost to this, so I should probably do that. Boop. That way I have Ghost to grab the questions and everything. Meep. Sorry about that. I've just been super busy. Anyway. So I want to go through the orders really quickly. So take aim. Reroll of 1s. Reroll hits of 1, that's pretty decent. First ring fire, second ring fire. All lasguns and hotshot lasguns in the ordered unit can change their type to rapid fire 2 until the end phase. That's really good. That allows conscripts, and I am going to be strictly talking about conscripts because everybody knows how good conscripts are. It allows conscripts to fire about 4 times, which is ridiculous. Bring it down, reroll 1s to wound. This one you're never going to do if you're in a tournament meta because you're going to be running Rebuke Guilliman, let's face it, and Booty allows you to reroll the wounds of 1s anyway. So you just stick them next to everything, stick them with your artillery and everything, and you're good. Okay, forward for the Emperor. This order, the ordered unit can shoot this phase even if it made an advance move. Now this is another really powerful order when combining Guilliman into this book, because Guilliman does give you the assistance with the with advancing, so you can advance even further and now still fire. This order, the next order is get back in the fight. This order unit can shoot in the phase even if it fell back in the movement phase. Again, that's really powerful. They get to pretend that they are Marines, Ultramarines, for instance. Move instead of shooting. They can advance and advance again and keep advancing because advancing. Again, really powerful and combined with Guilliman. And I am going to be talking about this from a meta standpoint. So if that kind of bugs you, I am sorry. But I am going to be looking at this from a meta standpoint. And everything that I have seen so far, every IG list that I've fought so far, has been pretty easy. Guilliman, artillery tanks, guard artillery, and then conscripts to protect all of that. Some vendettas or vultures in there too, with some Punisher Gatling cannons, and all sorts of other little goodies, but it always revolves around Guilliman. And that's where I think the current meta is going to stay with this codex. I didn't really see... There are going to be a lot of people who just hammer in and stick with the strong guard, and they are really strong on their own. But when combined with Guilliman, combined with Space Marines, combined with Grey Knights, they're just killer. Okay, so let's move back into those orders really quickly. Boop. All right. Fixed bayonets. This order can be used. This order can only be issued to a unit that is within 1 inch of an enemy unit. It fights for free. Now this is kind of cool for terribly sorry, excuse me. This is kind of cool for thematic purposes. That's really it. Maybe if you combine yourself with a priest, but that's about it. They got the war gear list. It's pretty standard. We know what the war gear list is. And now I wanted to get into the regimental orders. I am going to be reading through these. I am going to be, you know, giving my 2 cents on all of it. But, all right, and I'm going to be talking about it from a meta perspective, like what I see the game as. And I can hear Michael yelling at me saying, haha, I got you. See, you only think about the meta. I mean, he's not wrong. Let's face it. Okay. Oh, and if at any point you want to ask about the codex, just use the super chat feature. It goes to supporting the channel. That's going to be like my only plug of this episode. Also, it really helps me out, you know that, especially with this move and me just buying a vet. It's really expensive. Okay, so what do the Cadians do? For the duration of this phase, you can reroll the dice when determining the number of attacks the ordered model can make with torrent weapons, as described in the Grinding Advance ability above, that use a random determination of dice, heavy d6 as an example. So basically any of the dice that use like 4d6, 3d6, 1d6, they get to reroll, which is kind of neat, but it is simply a reroll. You can't... Oh, let's just reroll the dice. So I don't think this works with like the 4d6 weapons. That's a curiosity. Does it work with them? I'll have to look into that more. Okay. Moving on to the next one. Now the Cadian one, I think it is good, but it's too random for my liking. It definitely is cool. It's a tank order, so that's really, really, really decent, but with combined with a certain tank, this can be really good. I don't see it. I'm sorry, I just don't. Catechin. Burn them out. You can reroll dice when determining the number of attacks the ordered unit can make with flamers and heavy flamers until the end phase. In addition, the target unit, blah, 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 blah. They don't gain any bonuses to their cover. They pretend that they're sisters of battle for a turn. That's pretty much it. Or as efficient as salamanders. I don't see this one as that good, mostly because the flamer is meant as a defensive weapon, not an offensive weapon for guard. For Sisters of Battle, on the other hand, or Space Marines, the flamethrower, actually more for Sisters of Battle, the flamethrower is definitely an offensive weapon where they can get like 3, 4, 5 a squad. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, the Imperial Guard can do that too. It's just not as efficient as the Sisters of Battle. So I see the Catechins as, they're definitely neat. I'd pass on them. Sorry. For regimental orders, that is. We're going to get into the stratagems, and that might change my mind. Valhallan, fire on my command. this ordered unit can shoot at an enemy unit that is within 1 inch of a friendly unit, but each time you roll of a 1 for such attack, resolve the attack against a friendly unit within 1 inch instead. You may choose which friendly unit it is. This order may not be issued to a unit which is within 1 inch of an enemy unit. Okay, that's actually really sick, okay? I'm really liking this one because you can actually launch conscripts into a squad and actually tie them up for almost indefinitely and just rain artillery on top of them until they go away. Or just flame them, or just, you know, blast the shit out of them with everything that you have. Especially, like, could you imagine you assault into them, pulling them out, and then blast them with plasma or meltas? That's a really, really, really good idea. Granted, you do... Shut up, phone. Sorry about that, everybody. I really like the Historians this edition. Probably going to be the ones that I use just because of Historian. Because they're cool. Armageddon. Until the end of the phase, the ordered unit can shoot and then immediately embark within a friendly Armageddon transport vehicle as long as all models are within 3 inches of the vehicle. That's actually really fucking cool. So, if you think back to last edition, White Scars used to be able to do that. They jump in and then, you know, they get to do everything and then jump into their rhinos, and it was a really good strategy because then the rhinos get to move and do everything that they needed to do. It was just a very, very, very mobile force. Okay. Next we have Tyranids, or whatever. The first and only. The ordered model can move up to 6 inches in the phase, either before or after it shoots, as if it were the movement phase. This does not affect how far a vehicle has moved for the purposes of determining how many times it can fire its turret weapon, as described in the ability above. That's actually really, really, really cool because that extra 6 inches can get you to objectives. But with the guard vehicles, it's... Guard play more of sit, staunch, defendy, blast the shit out of something, versus the highly mobile force. And again, I'm going to bring this back to Sisters of Battle, who are a very mobile force because of the repressor. Or the Space Marines, where they have their rhinos that can actually transport efficient units into the fray. Unlike Guardsmen, where Guardsmen have the 4-up save, if they get a -1 as a 5-up, they're not going to survive. I don't see it as worth it. Military Tempestus, you can reroll failed wound rolls for models from the ordered unit if they attack a vehicle or a monster. It's pretty solid. I mean, there's nothing bad about that. Every army has a vehicle or a monster in it at this point, if not several. I know my army is 5, for Sisters of Battle that is 5 repressors filled with little girls that have way too many flamers. Or Space Marines who are decked out in all Razorbacks, just hiding out in the back, blasting the shit out of everything that you have. And no, Chaos is definitely doing this as well. There's this ability is just good. All right, it's not great. It's not like game changing. It is just good. All right, and then the Mordian. Until the end phase, the ordered unit can target characters with the rapid fire weapons, even if it's not the closest. Holy shit, that's just good. Okay? That is just good. I'm sorry. That one is good. The Mordians are really, really, really good. Insert Rick and Mordian joke here.
Hey, mind if I interrupt you?
Go for it.
Someone made entertainment suggestion, you yelling them like a general the orders.
Oh my god, that would be funny. Okay, alright. If somebody super chats and picks which order, I will do it. I will. I'm actually going to grab them really quickly. Whoops. Ah! Sorry. Pick a regiment, pick an order, use a super chat. I will do it. Sorry, I just think that's kind of funny. So moving on from there, I am gonna leave this page up. That's 86. So I'm just gonna write that down really quickly. If anybody feels like having me shout the orders, oh my god, I know somebody's gonna want me to shout mount up. That taken out of context is hilarious.
Insert innuendo.
Yep. No, that's definitely going to be the one. Like, if anybody wants to donate, it goes to a good cause. It goes to helping me, you know, do what I do on YouTube and everything. It's also really fun to do. Yell out that order in a Russian accent. I can't. I'm sorry. Alright, so moving on. We now get into the units themselves. I'm not going to go over each and every single unit and tell you how I think it's going to play out. I can go over that in another video if you guys want. And if you guys do want that, please comment in the comment section down below if you're watching this video not on the live stream. Okay, now moving on. Knight Commander Pask is definitely a must-have. Like, if you're gonna run Guard, Knight Commander Pask is just great. He always has been great, and he always will be great. Also, I don't think he has a regiment, does he? No, he does. He definitely does. Yeah, he's Cadian. So he's okay. Okay. Do it. Donate. Anyway, sorry. Commissar is always fun to have on board. Let's see. Colonel Ironhenge Thraken. He's pretty decent, not great. He gets like 5 attacks with his little fist. It's kind of funny. Primary Psychers, you're going to want to spam these guys if you're running Guard. They're really good, really cheap HQ for smite spam. Infantry Squad is okay. Conscripts are extremely good. The only thing is they actually took a nerf and a lot of people miss this. The Conscript Squad is now 30 conscripts and that's it. Okay? That is it. They're not 50 anymore. So they can't get... So they can't get 200 shots anymore. So now it's... Rapid Fire 2, 60, 80, 60, 120 shots from them, which is still really, really, really good. They make a really efficient meat shield, and combined with a certain stratagem that we're going to talk about later once we get to it, you're going to learn that conscripts are still just as good as they were, if not a little bit better. I think they're a little bit better. Okay. Scions are the same. Master of Ordnance are garbage. Platoon commanders, you know, we're just going to go through this stuff really, really, really quickly. Is Sly Marbo in the codex? I didn't see him. Psyker units are still really good. More conscripts. Did I accidentally go up to the top again? Mother of butts. Yeah, I did. Oh, it doesn't actually go down. The only worth order is Scream Chaos stuff.
Do it.
I don't know what he wants me to say.
Follow it up.
I don't know.
Also, I'm going to look up the transfer rate because I do not know what the hell that currency is.
Actually, the only order you need to scream, and it isn't even an order, is the reason I want people to run Primera Psychers so bad is so simple. It's just so when you get on the field, you can actually just, when you do smite, you just have to scream at your opponent, "Witness your doom!" I'm sorry, I love it. I love it. I love it. I can't help but love that. Hungarian currency. Neat.
Okay, Google's either screwing me. That's either $1.50 or that's
It's probably $1.50.
yeah, because it's 1.5206.
Yeah. One of the things that I have noticed that is extremely good, and I know this is kind of funny because I know one of my subscribers loves these guys greatly. Ogrins are really, really, really good. They have a 4-up invo save if you do the Ogrin Bodyguard. They're just good. Like, there's nothing bad about them. Their one attack is pretty bad, though. But I really, really, really do like the Ogrins this edition. Ratlings, they look good, but past them. But the sleeper unit that I really wanted to talk about that I really think is extremely good is the Hellhound. More specifically, the Bane Wolf. But it's Chem Cannon. Chem Cannon. It's not a Slaneshi tank. Yet. No, but the Hellhound's Chemical Cannon, 8-inch range, heavy D6, strength star, AP -3, damage 1. It always wounds on 2+ unless there's a vehicle that they're shooting at. I really, really, really like this tank as a hosing unit because your opponent has a Hellblaster squad. You just get... Oh, it's the Bane Wolf. It's the Bane Wolf. But anyway... you get right up to your opponent and you just blast the shit out of them with the chemical cannon, and then you have the heavy flamer on there as well, along with either the heavy stubber or the stormbolter. Personally, I like the stormbolter a little bit better. That's just me. I have a strange attachment to just holding the trigger until things go away. Holding the trigger until the bad people go away. I really, really, really like this unit. It's relatively cheap. 3 of them, fully decked out. It's only like 300 points. They're extremely efficient. They're very, very, very fast. You take the line with these, you move the 12. More than likely, they are extremely good for a counter anti-assault. They are very good as a counter alpha strike unit. Hands down. You're about to get alpha striked, you surround a couple of Bane Wolves with a conscript blob while, supplying your artillery and everything else. These things will, your opponent, if they don't know what they are, and more than likely they will just chew through the conscripts, chew through your artillery, they'll leave the Bane Wolf alone. And that's when you can hose them down with the chemical cannon. And 2 chemical cannons is going to kill almost any squad. Even Terminators are going to suffer from this. I mean, hell, they do have a 4-up invo, 5-up invo, depending on the Terminator, but still, they're going to rely on that instead of their normal 2-up save. It is great for a counter. It's just an all-around good tank, in my opinion. Okay. Now, moving on, we're going to go, because those were the 2 real things that I wanted to talk about. Wyverns are amazing, Hydras are amazing, Manicores are extremely good. The Death Strike missile is garbage. It's kind of funny, but it's garbage. Hey, Ghost, do you want to give him a reminder of the orders, please?
What orders?
We got new people about the Super Chat orders.
Oh, she will do Imperial Guard orders, yelling them out as a pissed off general. You just have to
use the
super chat with what order and what
regimental order. There was one unit in here that I think a lot of people are going to take thinking it's good, but I'm telling you there is a better alternative to this. The Valkyrie. The Valkyrie or the Vendetta gunships, they're really good, but take the Vulture from Forge World that has the Punisher Gatling Cannon. It's much more efficiently. It's much more efficient. Thank you. Okay. Bane Wolf is decent. The Bane Hammer is decent. The Bane Sword is decent. The Doom Hammer is decent. The Hell Hammer is decent. The Shadow Sword is, I think, the one you want to take. Yeah, the Shadow Sword is probably the best out of the super heavies. Or is it... Yeah, it's the Shadow Sword. It's without a doubt the best tank for a super heavy. Especially when you combine it with Guilliman. Again, I'm going to be talking about Guilliman. I kind of want to do a 2 Shadow Sword Guilliman list as a super heavy auxiliary, along with Sisters of Battle and Guardsmen for conscript lines across with a couple of commissars. I think it'll be really, really, really efficient. It'll one-shot knights like they're nothing. It'll one-shot titans like they're nothing. And yeah, like, this Shadow Sword is just still ridiculously good. There's nothing bad about the Shadow Sword. I was saying Shadow Sword. I meant to say... No, Shadow Sword. Okay, which one? Oh, that's the Storm Sword that I thought I got confused with. Now, moving on, we have these stratagems once I find them. Oh, damn it. I hate that it does this. Once I can find them. Regimental Doctrines. So going through that, because I do want to use it. I do want to go through this as well. Cadians, Born Stubborn. Reroll hit rolls of 1 in the shooting phase for units with this doctrine if they do not move in the previous movement phase. So this is a way of getting Guilliman's ability without actually having Guilliman on the field. But if you want to, if you're going to play in a more meta-based format, you're going to want Reboot Guilliman. I know I'm talking about him way too much, but he's literally one of the best units, best models in all of the Imperium keyword. Sorry, he just is. Personally, I wouldn't use Guilliman, but personally I would use Guilliman, but the Cadian Doctrine is okay at best. Catachin, Infantry. Units with this doctrine add 1 to their strength characteristic. They become Space Marines. In addition, they can add 1 to their leadership characteristics if they're within 6 inches of an officer. Each time a vehicle with this doctrine fires a ranged weapon that makes a random number of attacks, i.e. heavy d6, heavy 2d6, you can reroll 1 of the dice when using. Now, this is why I would take the Cadians. This is actually extremely good, especially combined with the reroll for spending a command point. You can actually get like a heavy 2d6 and get it to something along the lines of a 12. You need to get some carpets to get rid of that echo. I know I'm getting there. I am poor at the moment. I'm getting foam for the siding and everything. I'm sorry. Please forgive me.
Want me to give you my foam?
That sounds dirty in a way. Anyway. Valhallan, infantry with this... God fucking damn it, stop messaging me while I'm live streaming, you jerk. Infantry units with this doctrine have the number of models that fully rounded up if they fail a morale test. Vehicles with this doctrine that have damage to... The Valhallan one is really good. So if they actually lose a couple of guys to morale, say they lose 4, they only lose 2, and then they're good. The vehicles, they just... Yeah, they don't care about losing wounds. They stay the same. Vehicles wounds that have remained for the purposes of determining their characteristics are... Wow, that's actually just really, really, really good. Vistorian. Units with this doctrine add 6 inches to the maximum range of heavy or rapid-fire weapons they fire, which would normally have range of 24 or more. That's decent. That's the lasguns having a much further range, meaning that their rapid fires at a further range. That's really good, but not great. Personally, I would overlook this one. I don't really... The Vistorians have some cool stuff, but this one is not my favorite. Okay, Armageddon. Infantry units with this doctrine double the number of attacks they make with rapid fire weapons at range up to 18 inches rather than half of the range as normal. Vehicles with this doctrine treat attacks against them with an AP of -1 as 0. This is actually really decent. The vehicles stay alive a lot longer because they're actually, you know, able to shrug off damage easier. The rapid fire is good for, you know, conscripts, which is extremely efficient. The Talon. Infantry units with this doctrine can advance and still shoot any weapon type except heavy weapons. When they do so, they do not suffer the usual penalties to roll. Yeah, they don't suffer the normal penalties, which is kind of cool. Vehicles with this option do not suffer the penalty to their hit rolls for moving and firing heavy weapons. If a Titanic vehicle with this doctrine advances, it treats all heavy weapons it is equipped with as assault weapons until the end of the turn. That is really kind of decent. I'm a little bit iffy on that one. Militarum Tempestus, Stormtroopers. I really like the Stormtroopers. I'm sorry, I really like the Stormtroopers. If a model with this doctrine is shooting at a target at half its range or less, it can make an extra shot with the same weapon at the same target. Now, this is extremely good. Again, if you're bringing conscripts. I know, I'm going to keep saying that. I am sorry. Just conscripts are so good. Alright. And the Mordians. If the base of every model of the infantry unit with this doctrine is touching the base of at least one other model from the same unit, the unit has +1 leadership, and you can add 1 to the rolls. And you can add 1 to the hit rolls made for models that fire Overwatch. Alright, so you hit on Overwatch at 5s. Oh, no, you don't. Your 5s become 6s. And that's very important. That's very... I can talk, I swear. I'm good at this, I promise. I'm good. Your 5s become 6s by getting a +1. Okay? But the reason that's important is if you're getting a -1 to your ballistic skill for shooting at something, it kind of cancels itself out. Okay? You could add 1 to the hit rolls made for vehicles with this doctrine when firing Overwatch if they are within 3 inches of one or more other friendly Mordian vehicles. Okay. Decent, not great. It's kind of cool. Out of all of those, just picking based off of this, I'd probably go with the Armageddon, just because of the 5 shots from a conscript. Just saying. 5 shots from a conscript, you have 30 of them, that's a shit ton of attacks. And they're just really good. And that is assuming that you give them the order as well. Stratagem, Vortex Missile, I don't care about it. Fire by position. Use this stratagem when the last model is slain from an Astra Militarum unit from your army equipped with a Vox Caster. Before removing the model, roll a d6 for each unit within 3 inches of it. On 4+, that unit suffers a mortal wound. That is game-changing, by the way. Just saying, that is kind of huge. Especially being if you're getting alpha striked, your guys are surrounded, they're being blasted to shit. You just go, they spotted me, fire. And boom. The chances of dealing D3 mortal wounds per squad near them is incredible. You can actually make suicide units and just rush them at your opponent with just using this stratagem in mind. Or, you know, it makes a really good suicide bomber. Just saying. Crush them. Use this stratagem at the start of your charge phase. Select an Astra Militarum vehicle unit from your army. This unit can charge even if it advanced in the previous turn. Advance in this turn. In the following fight phase, this unit hits on a 2+. That is extremely good when combined with a titanic vehicle, such as any of the hammer vehicles or storm blahs or whatever. You know, the super heavy vehicles that all have very unique names. In other words, the one and only good one, the Stormlord. Nah, it's the Shadow Sword, just kidding. Aerial Spotter. Use this stratagem at the start of your shooting phase. Select a Basilisk or a Wyvern unit from your army. You can reroll all failed. You can reroll failed hit rolls for this unit in this phase. That's kind of cool. You have to do it. I'm assuming you have to do this before you. No, I'm assuming you can do this after you roll. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. That's not a big deal. Jury rigging, yes. Using this stratagem at the start of your turn, select an Astra Militarum vehicle from your army. It can move, charge, or pile in this turn, but immediately heals 1 wound. It cannot move, charge, or pile in this turn, but immediately heals a wound. That's whatever you're going to be using Call if you want your vehicles to survive forever. Or, you know, a Tech Priest. Not a Tech... Yeah, a Tech Priest, or an Engine Seer. Here's the big one that everybody is currently talking about. Consolidate squads. Use this stratagem at the end of your movement phase. Choose an infantry squad, page 93. Now, it's very specific to say infantry squad. Now, there is a unit in this codex called an infantry squad. This is the only reason why you'd want to take it. From the same regiment, you can merge these squads into a single unit and they are treated as such for the rest of the battle. Now this is really cool, especially if you want to consolidate both those squads and then give them really powerful orders like bring it down or something along those lines. Imperial Commander's Armory. Use this stratagem before the battle. Well, that's very specific. Your army can have 1 extra relic from the... You get more relics. That's kind of neat. 1 to 3 command points. And that's kind of meh. I didn't even bother looking at the relics, to be honest. Use the stratagem. The next one, offer protect us command tank. I don't know how to say that, so I'm just going to skip it. The last stratagem. Use the stratagem at the start of the first battle turn round. Before the first turn begins, select a Leman Russ from your army. All friendly Astra Militarum units have a leadership characteristic of 9, unless it is otherwise be higher, whilst within 6 inches of this vehicle. That's kind of good. Oh, there's more. Shit, there's a lot of orders. Holy crap, there's a lot. Okay then. That was on page 134, by the way, for anybody keeping track at home. Mobile command vehicle. Use this stratagem at the start of any turn. Choose a Chimera from your army unit. Until the end of the turn, an officer from your army with the voice of command ability may still issue orders whilst embarked within the Chimera. That's kind of cool. It's pretty decent. It's not great. Bombardment. Use this stratagem after both sides have deployed, but before the first battle round begins. Roll a dice for each enemy unit on the battlefield. On a 6, that unit suffers 1 mortal wound. You can only use this stratagem once per battle. That's shit. That's awesome. Like, that is just cool. It's oh, who is it? It's Imbo Texas Stormlord's original ability. I could see Apocalypse games getting insane with that. Inspired Tactician. Use this stratagem after an officer from your army had issued an order or a tank order. The officer may immediately issue an additional order.
I just feel
I'm just imagining. Move! And you over there!
Wait. Does that work for Pask? Because technically you can do 3 orders then.
Yeah, I assume so.
He can give all 3 of his orders 1 turn.
That's really freaking good. That is actually really good with Pask. Take cover. Use this stratagem in your opponent's shooting phase. When your opponent selects one of your units as a target, you can add 1 to the saving throw for the unit until the end of the phase. Neat. Wait, is that? Oh, until the end of the phase. Okay, that's actually pretty good. Combine that with ratlings or any type of sniper unit. Decent, not great. Grenadiers. Use this stratagem before an military infantry unit from your army shoots or fires Overwatch. Up to 10 models in the units are armed with grenades. They can throw the grenades instead of one being able to do so. Hey guys, I'm just imagining the one guy throws a grenade. Yo, Craig, that was really, really good. Why don't the rest of us do that? He just chucks a grenade, blows up like the Carnifex's head. The Carnifex hits the ground, sees 3 more Carnifexes. Everybody just starts lobbing grenades at him. Carnifexes run like scared little bugs, like, ah! I'm sorry. That's terrible. That is truly bad. Oh my god, I'm terrible. Anyway, that's just a really funny stratagem. I would totally use that. Fight to the death. Use this stratagem at the start of your morale phase. Pick an extra military infantry unit from your army that requires a morale test. You can roll a d3 for the unit rather than a d6 when taking that test. That's pretty decent. I really like that ability. Go, Recon. Use this stratagem at the start of your shooting phase. Select a unit of scout sentinels from your army. This unit can immediately move 2d6 but cannot shoot or charge. That requires you taking scout sentinels, and I don't like them. They're not that good. Vengeance for Cadia. I'm just imagining like Chaos Space Marine, a Black Legionnaire, just running up to a guardsman, and he just pulls out his freaking entrenching tool, undoes it, and just smashes the Chaos Space Marine in the face with it, and just like shoves the pole up his ass, and is just like, vengeance, bitch! This is for Cadia. That'd be funny. Volley fire. Use this signum before a Mordian infantry unit from your army shoots in the shooting phase. Each time you make a hit roll of 6 for that model in the unit, that model can immediately shoot again with the same weapon at the same target. Holy crap. Think about this with... I know, I'm going to bring this up again. Think about this. With an ordered issued conscript squad that's already firing a shit ton of shots, 120 shots, they know every hit of 6, they're going to be firing again. It's really good. Alright. Overlapping fields of fire. Use this stratagem after a Cadian unit from your army has inflicted an unsaved wound on an enemy unit in the shooting phase. You can add 1 to the hit rolls for any other Cadian unit from your army that targets the same enemy unit. Greg, is the target dead? No! Got it! Just keep killing it. Vengeance for Canada. Vengeance for Canada! I said Cadia, I think. I really hope I said Cadia. What can you do? Send in the next wave. Now this is the one that I think is extremely good. This is the one where I think the Valhallans are the way to go for this edition. Use this stratagem at the end of your movement phase. Select a Valhallan infantry unit from your army, excluding characters and infantry squads that have used the combined squad stratagem that was destroyed earlier in the battle. Set up that unit wholly within your deployment zone, within 6 inches of a table edge and more than 9 inches away from an enemy model. Hey, cool, you killed my 60 guardsmen. My 30 guardsmen. It'd be a shame if they just walked back on the board for 2 command points. Just think about that. Think about that. Cadia is the worst. A guy with no arms destroyed Cadia. No, a guy with no arms got himself stabbed in the heart, threw a bitch fit, teleported back to his ship, and then crashed it into the ground because he was a sore loser.
No, a superhuman with no arms did that, while a man with no arms made him go into the bitch fit by insulting him.
That's true, too. Firstborn Pride, Vestorian Stratagem. Use this stratagem at the start of your shooting phase. You select 1 Vestorian unit from your army. You can add 1 to the hit rolls made for this unit until the end of the phase. This is cool because it actually works on, like, use a stratagem in the shooting phase. Vestorian unit from your army. You can actually select, you know, the big giant tanks, which I think is really good. Superior Intelligence. Use a stratagem immediately after your opponent sets up a unit that arrives on the battlefield as reinforcements within 12 inches of your dude guys. Your unit can immediately shoot at the enemy unit with the shooting phase, but you must subtract 1 from the resulting hit rolls. It's really, really, really good. So that combined conscript squad firing twice, yes? No. You cannot combine a squad of conscripts. The only squads that you can combine are the infantry squads, which is a unit in this codex. Sorry. Ambush. Use this stratagem during the deployment. Choose up to 3 Telerin units to set up an ambush instead of placing them on the battlefield. At the end of your movement phase, these units can strike from hiding. Set them up so that they're wholly within 7 inches of an enemy of the battlefield edge and more than 9 inches away from an enemy model. That is decent, not great. I mean, why not just bring drop pods with, you know, TAC Marines in, since you can do that? The heck am I reading? All sorts of crazy shit. Armored Fist, Armageddon Stratagem. Use this stratagem at the start of your shooting phase. Select an Armageddon infantry unit from your army that is disembarked from an Armageddon transport vehicle this turn. That unit can re-roll hit rolls of 1 until the end phase of that turn. Until the end phase. Decent, not great. Still think the Valhallans are the best. Voracious Traps. Oh god, the Cadians have traps. Holy shit, that's where all the female guardsmen are coming from. I'm sorry.
Wait.
Use the stratagem when an enemy unit finishes a charge move within 1 inch of a Cadian unit from your army that is wholly on or within terrain feature. Roll a d6 on a 4+, that unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. It's hits to that pride. That's what it is. Okay. Then it goes into Psychers and heirlooms. I'm not going to read the heirlooms. I don't want to. I'm not going to read the warlord traits. I'm just not going to. If you want me to do a proper review of this codex, please mention it in the comments down below for people that are not watching this as a live stream.
Meh.
Okay, so. If you want me to scream the orders, please remember, use the super chat feature down below. We have quite a few really funny ones if you guys want me to shout them.
Mount up.
Just mount up is one of them, just letting you know. Here, let me go to the page really quickly. I think it was 87. Yes. Okay. All right. I just want to read these over one more time really quickly. So the Cadian order is pound them into dust. The Catechin, burn them out. Valhallan, fire on my command. Vistorian, repel the enemy. Armageddon, mount up. Tauren, get around behind them. Oh God. Get around behind them. Mount up. I just know somebody's gonna do it.
Mount up. Reach around. Let's do this.
Eliminate protocol. I'm not even gonna try to do that one. Form firing squads as the Mordians. So if you guys do want me to scream them as though I were an officer, please use super chat feature in the comments down below. Other than that, so let's move on to questions. What do we got, Ghost? I'm sure we have a lot.
Well, I'm supposed to be keeping track of these things? What?
Yes.
Oh, fuck. I fucked up. Do you think Forge World will get a codex like the Renegades and Heretics?
Yes, they will. Without a doubt. They're just, yes.
Whereas turning the mobile command center into a one-turn strat game makes the Chimera less useful in the mid to late game?
I personally think the Chimera is almost completely useless at this point in the game. It's really good if you want to keep a, it's really good for counter, how to put this? If you want to take a Chimera, take the one from Forge World that has the autocannon. Otherwise, I don't think it's worth taking. It's good as an anti-alpha strike unit along with the Hellhounds, the chemical tank one, the Bane Wolf.
Okay. Alexis, you still have a stratagem to make 2 units into 1, so 2 times 30 conscripts is into a one.
No. It's infantry squads, okay? It's not conscripts. It is strictly infantry squads. And an infantry squad is actually listed in the codex as its own entry. So that stratagem only works on that infantry squad from how I've read it. It doesn't actually work on conscript squads.
So no 60 unit conscript squad.
Mm-hmm.
What's the best and worst game you've had and why?
The best and worst game I've had? The best game I had is actually coming out in a battle report very soon for 8th edition. It was a really, really, really fun game. Or the game that me and my boyfriend Ghost, the person reading right now,
Meh.
Had where we had just knights fighting at knights.
That was fun.
What was it? It was your Wraith Knights versus my Knight Titans. And
Yep.
they were just kicking each other's ass. And we did this at Nova. And it was really, really, really fun.
I love that one strategy I came up with. I'm going to save my last command point so I can make my thing explode.
That was fun.
Okay. What do you think of Saint Minka of Cadia that was shown off at the end of the Cadia Stands book?
I have yet to read that one. That is kind of awesome. And it does make sense that... No, Cadia Stands is before Cadia is destroyed, isn't it, for the timeline? I'm not sure. I have to read it. I'm sorry, I have to read it. Now I really want to read it. I wish there was an audiobook of it. If there is an audiobook, let me know.
GW have said they're going to have faction specific bonuses for every race. How do you think they'll do that for the Tyranid hive fleets?
Well, very simply, they're going to have Tyranid hive fleets. Like, the Tyranid hive fleets have adapted to do certain things better than others. Certain Tyranid hive fleets may have adapted to use more Parasite of Mortrax-esque things. The Doom of Malantai, the Dragon Overlord, things like that, where they've adapted different types of poisons, different types of strategies for dealing with Imperials, different types of strategies for dealing with alien races, different weapons. You gotta remember, according to newer fluff anyway, the Tyranid hive fleets don't actually communicate through each other, and they will devour each other. Although we're still not sure if the devouring each other part is because of chaos influence or some other reason.
Ooh. Are 1,000 Sun rubrics with Flamer good versus conscript spam?
1,000 Suns with just their bolters is good against conscript spam. The one thing that you're going to have to look out for as a 1,000 Suns player, as a Chaos Space Marine player, as a Chaos player, is their Brimstone Horrors are going to die horribly to conscript spam. So you're going to want a way of dealing with them as quickly as possible, but keeping a few of them alive. So it's spray and pray, get them down to a few people, and hope they don't die to Overwatch, because otherwise they will rush those guardsmen in, let them die, and then get the entire squad back. Which is a very, very solid strategy in my book. Why do they always change the lore? Because this game is written by like 20 different people. In fact, a lot of people don't even know that female Space Marines have already existed. But, you know, that's just me. Sorry, I saw that question. Next question, guys.
Is grenade spam the best filling for a sandwich?
Yeah. Well, it depends. Like, you have to have a right mix of grenades. Like, you want to start at the top with a nice crack grenade. That way, you know, you get the crunch. Then you want a good psych out grenade. You know, just that right flavor in the middle. Then you want to move on to, like, the blight grenade. You know, it gives that nice sizzle and taste that's really, really, really enjoyable. The bottom layer of this grenade sandwich has to be like a fragmentation grenade. You know, it's usually because when you bite into a grenade sandwich, it just kind of goes everywhere. It's a little bit of a mess. You know, it's kind of like a manwich or, you know, sloppy joe or whatever you want to call it, where it just kind of goes everywhere and you eventually have to eat it with a fork. But just to let you know, there are other types of grenade that you can also put in there, such as phosphor grenades. What is it? There's a few other grenades. I just can't think of it. The EMP grenades of the Tau. There's, you know, I'm joking about I'm done joking with that.
Don't forget the salt that will just get all over it.
Yep. Okay, next one.
Those who have 9 arms are pink and are speaking to you, but no one else can hear them.
Oh, I always have voices in my head. They drive me mad. Anyway.
Are you reading the digital copy of the Guard? If so, does it tell us how to model the Chem Dogs or any other regiments?
It actually does show a good example of this. If you go into my Discord later, I can show you the page for it. Just simply follow the link in the description down below for the Discord and say, hey, Alexis, I want to say it. And I'll show you the conversions or the models and how they put them together. If that makes sense? Yeah, I think that makes sense. If they did, I still have to look through it for that. I kind of just skipped all of that. I'm not going to lie.
You sold me on Vostroyans. What do you think should I get for the start?
You sold me on Vostroyans. What do you think I should get? So I can start.
Oh yeah, we're at the bottom already. I'm happy. There's more questions than usual.
What should you get to start a Vostroyan army? It's actually pretty simple. Guardsmen, 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 guardsmen. Similar to that of orcs. I personally think a good amount of guardsmen, 60 to 80 is a good number of them. Along with, wyverns, about 3 of those, and a couple of artillery tanks from Forge World. A couple of chemical tanks, because I really like those. Don't waste your time on chimeras. I really just don't think that they're going to be that useful, especially if you're just spamming guardsmen.
Why not Lehman Russ?
The Lehman Russ is decent, but the wyvern just does more damage than the Lehman Russ ever will. The
Also,
Lehman
it's
Russ is good.
Also, it's Destroying. Why are you leaving out Trollzine?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah?
I have a...
You want me to read it?
I have a tournament, but I think it will be all index. Okay, well, all the Forge World books are index.
Welcome to Broken Index.
Yeah. What would you suggest to bring in a TS no demon against Astra Militarum conscript spam, Lehman Russ Squadron, and a Baneblade spam list? Thousand Suns, no demon. Oh god, you just kind of... Alright, what I want you to do is send me a message on Discord, and I will help you build a list out of what models that you have available and suggest what you can buy to make your army a little bit better. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Just follow the description down below for the Discord link, or you can message me on Twitter or Facebook. So do you think that the Forge World regiments will be treated the same way as treated like they want Death Corp fans? I think that they are going to get an actual codex. I really expect them to, and my shirt is riding up like crazy. Okay. But I do think that they are going to get a guard codex of their own. What material should I start cheap for a Noise Marine cosplay, and what noise weapon? Message me in my Discord. I will give you the entire link on how to build a Space Marine cosplay that I use. That'll give you all the files that you just need to print out, put onto foam, draw them out, and you get your own Space Marine cosplay.
But
it's what I did for my demon armor.
Cheap material, EVA floor mats.
Yeah, EVA floor mats are literally like $20. Good lord. Look at that, GW. Look at that, I work for GW 80 Guardsmen for $30. Here, use my discount. Yeah, guard are not cheap. Although the funny thing is, if you're running Imperial Guard, if you don't plan to do Imperium allies, you should get yourself a couple of Genestealer squads, Genestealer cult squads, and ally them in, along with 5 Magoses for a smite spam. And you get a really funny guard list that is very offensive and defensive at the same time. But yeah, I think we're caught up on questions, and it has been over an hour. If you guys have any last minute questions, please ask now. If not, I'll probably just be jumping in my Discord in a little bit.
Jump around.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew it.
I'm horrible.
Anyway, guys, I am going to end it right here. So it's been a pleasure, as always. I'm Alexis, the Eco Queen. I love you guys. Bye.
Oh, what?
Oh, wait, we have one more question.
Yay!
I will answer this one. I will answer this one because it came out.
Because it's actually
and then
good.
I'll say bye again. All right, read it, Ghost. Oh, and now we have more questions. I know.
God damn it, now they're just coming in. Do you think we'll ever get any other regiment doctrines for Guard, like actual unique doctrines for Chem Dogs or Armageddon Orc Hunters?
Maybe in future releases. Maybe when they start doing things like their, what is it? Campaign books, more than likely. Or they start talking about them more. But you can use them. Just use doctrines for other things. I'm planning to start a Dark Eldar army. What do you think? What should I start with?
Gangs of Kimura.
Gangs of Kimura, start collecting. Literally, it's 2-box army.
Hellion spam is great.
Anyway, guys, I am going to get going. Join me in my Discord in about 5-10 minutes. It'll be great. You can talk to me there. You can ask for army lists and all sorts of other advice there. We have a great tactical section. And a lot of the people in there are super nice. Anyway, I'm Alexis the Eagle Queen. I love you guys. Bye.